You closed? Yeah, man, I'm done for the day. Man, boy, I don't know how you do it. I got 3 kids. One just moved. You know, 2 little boys, 3 and 5, and my wife is pregnant now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home because I can't expel all my energy here, get home, and have nothing for them.
Yeah.
It's not fair to them.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Who you are, where you from, what it is you into?
Yeah, so my name is Kyle Brown. I am a Aurora native. Been here my whole life, Illinois my whole life. I come from a line of hairstylists and beauticians. My grandmother was a hairstylist for many years, man. She did some celebrities' hair. I mean, she's got this picture of her and Bobby Blue Bland, and she did his hair. And this was back when Muzz was getting perms and, you know, all of that stuff, or I should say relaxers is the right thing to say. Yeah, so I grew up around that my whole life. My mother then did hair, you know, some. She went to Moeller, and so I was right there with her going to Moeller and, you know, standing around some of what today you would call some legends in, you know, the barber and hair industry. And so I never really had a desire to do hair, though. Even though being around it my whole life, I never thought, you know, this is where I wanted to be. I was gifted with musical ability, so I played drums since I was 4 years old, and that really became my passion and what I was driving to do, you know, for the rest of my life. And so in my mind, I was going to be a touring drummer. I was going to play for all these great artists. I was going to meet this fine woman on the road or something. I don't know. But it definitely wasn't cutting hair. So as a teenager, I worked a gazillion jobs as, you know, still playing the drums for church and all of that. And then I went away to school. So let me back up, because in that teenage childhood years, my mom bought me a pair of clippers. And so I started cutting my little brother's hair, started cutting my best friend's hair, you know, learning little things. And still, it was just, you know, a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there. Nothing like, yeah, I want to do this for the rest of my life. So I ended up going to school, went away to Western Illinois University, pursued a degree in communications. I wanted to be on the radio. I wanted to be on the radio, and I wanted to be you know, if I'm honest, my goal was to be around famous people. I didn't think that I was, you know, Hollywood type, but I wanted to have a job where I was around, you know, Hollywood, people in Hollywood, or people, you know, that were, you know, famous, either, you know, football player, basketball, whatever, right? So that was my goal. And I figured by being on the radio, I knew everybody on GCI was always around famous people. So I was like, man, that's going to be my end right there. I can do concerts, I can do this, I can do that. Ended up having my oldest son, who's now 18, had him while we were in school. His mother and I, we were both at the same school. Came home, gave up the communications dream, and started cutting hair. Started cutting hair because what I found as a teenager is that I didn't like working for anybody. I even told my oldest son, like, go work 1,000 jobs and find out what you like to do, what you don't like to do. Yeah. And one thing that I found that I did not like to do is I did not like to ask anybody, can I have a day off?
Wow. Yeah.
And so the barbershop that I was going to at the time, my barber, I was telling him, you know, man, I don't like working for nobody, da-da-da. He's like, man, you cut hair, don't you? I was like, yeah. He said, man, I'm going to see if I can get you in here. So he talked to the owner, and boom, got me in. Oh, my. I knew how to do 2 haircuts, a ball fade and a taper, and I wasn't good at either one of them. And so, of course, the owner's like, man, this is an extra 150 a week. I got a chair open. Yeah, sure, come on. And so he started me off at like 75 for like 3 weeks. And so I'm standing there, the new guy, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
I have no clients.
Yeah.
I am cutting, walk-ins. I'm cutting people who are, they may have been there a couple times, but they don't really care who cut their hair. And so I'm struggling basically. 75 a week. I think I was making 200 a week. So then when that increased to 150 a week, I damn near lost my mind because I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay this guy?
Right.
So I just ended up, just trying to get anybody. I started promoting myself, and they were giving me tools to use.
So what year is this?
This is I had my son in 2004, so this is probably about 2005 ish. Yeah, about 2005, 2006. So I'm working here, not making any money really. My son's mother and I break up. I have to move back home. Boy, what a time. So my parents were very financially savvy. My mother was a collections account manager, and so she knew all about money. And so when I moved back in, they're like, where you work at? I said, man, I cut hair. Cool. We need to see how much you make every week. I was like, what? First of all, I'm grown as hell. You trying to check my pockets, man. But, man, I'll tell you, it shined a light on really how much I wasn't making. And that hurt. It hurt. It hurt because I loved what I was doing so much. Well, I'm not even gonna say I loved it at the time. I just liked the fact that I didn't have no accountability.
Right.
So when they told me, in my mother's words, man, as a stylist, you need to go get a real job. I was like, what do you mean? Hurt my soul. Go get a real job? What, this is not a real job? They said, no, nigga, because you ain't making no real money. You got a son to take care of. You living back at home. Eventually, you need to get out of here. Mm-hmm. So you need to be making, X amount of dollars so you can take care of yourself and have a life. So from there, I actually, my dad worked at Caterpillar, and I went and worked at Caterpillar, and I was a welder. And while I was welding, I'm still playing the drums. I still have my hand in the music world. This guy asked me, actually, I take that back. My best friend had got a call to do a tour. He's like, man, I can't do it. Can you do it? Bro, I just started working at Caterpillar, bro. And so I tell my parents, like, I have an opportunity to go on tour with this artist. He's up and coming, and at that time, man, I cannot remember this guy's name, but he was Irish, and he was big on MTV. Like, he was killing it. And the guy I was going on tour with was Irish, and he was kind of in that same vein. So I'm trying to explain to my parents, like, man, he has an opportunity to, like, really blow up, and if I don't get on this tour, then I might miss my opportunity. And so they like, man, we ain't trying to hear that, bro. You need a job. Mm-hmm. And so I went to work, and I asked my manager, I said, hey, can I take a leave of absence? I had only been working there 2 or 3 months.
And you need a leave of absence?
I said, hey, man, you mind if I take a leave of absence? And I told him why. He said, man, I'll let you know at the end of the night. And he came back around. He's like, man, go ahead. I'll hold your job for you.
Wow, that's good.
Whew. So I went home, told my parents. They thought I was lying. It was like, man, you done quit. And I was like, no, I didn't quit, man. He said I could, They're like, well, did you get it in writing? And I was like, nah. He just said I could take a leave of absence, so chill. And so I left. I went on tour, did this tour. It was so fun. To this day, that guy is actually still in the music game, and he's actually kind of blowing up on the like CMT on the countryside, country folk. And so I did that, and when that was over, what was waiting for me? Caterpillar. And I went back to work feeling very unfulfilled because I had just lived a piece of my dream. You know, so it's like, how can I go back to that? So I was there, and eventually I was just like, yeah, I can't work here no more, man. You know, I was working third shift, welding. You know, it's not a dangerous job, but it's a lot of smoke, and I started thinking about the health risks as a welder and all of that, and so I quit.
What's your parents
Yeah, it was pissed, bro. It was pissed. I quit, and I started cutting hair full time. I said I'm gonna take this seriously, and so that's when I like started making business cards and trying to improve on my craft and really asking the other barbers questions about the things that I was weak in, the areas I was weak in, and so I started making it, bro. Now all this time, me and my parents we falling out because they still hot that I quit. Then they also trying to teach me a lesson on how to become a man. I have a child. I'm living in their house. They're like, bro, you got to go. So we fall out,
Wow.
and my mom and dad actually kicked me out. And so, man, I quit cutting hair, and I went and worked another job. And I was working at Kraft, third shift picking. Hell no, 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 no. First of all, I couldn't compete with the Mexicans. Them mugs work. They will outwork you on a bad day. So imagine what they do on a good day.
Right.
And it was all about productivity. And so I got kicked out, moved in with my cousin, stayed there for a while. She kicked me out, had to go back home. Big piece of humbling pie. So now, I'm telling my mom and dad, I'm like, hey man, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. So they're like, all right, this is what you need to do. So I started doing that, which I don't even know what it was now, but I started doing it. And I moved. I was cutting hair, and I don't know. I was doing something else too, but I never stopped cutting hair. And so I moved out of their house. They let me go again. It's like a bad relationship. They let me go again. I move into this studio apartment, and I'm solely living off of cutting hair now. And that's where it just kind of took off. And I started taking it serious. And so my mom was always telling me, well, if you're going to cut hair, you need to get a license. And I'm like, no, I don't need no license, man. I'm good. Like, he got a license and I work in that shop. No, because she was a hairstylist and she went to school. So she was like, you're not going to shortcut this thing. If you're going to do it, get a license. Right. And I cut about 7-8 years, no license. And then all of a sudden, this lady walks into our shop, and her name is Miss Yu, and she's like, man, I opened up a barber school, and I'm right around the corner from y'all. And so when she left, everybody was like, man, I ain't going to that barber school. Ain't nobody ever heard of her, boy. So I'm praying, all this time, like, man, what should I do? I really want to get. And so I'm driving home one day, and the Holy Spirit just told me, go check out that barber school. So I'll go in there. She's like, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm good. I said, man, I'm here to sign up. And now I'm looking back at myself like, nigga, what are you talking about? You go check it out, not go sign up. Yeah. So I said, I'm here to sign up. She said, cool. Told me how much it was. Took my money that day. And I started like that next week. Yeah. Got my license. And it was off to the races. I mean, she's such an influential person in my life because she showed me so much of what a license opens you up to. No shade to anybody who doesn't have a license because I've been on both sides. But I feel like, and I tell people this who don't have a license, listen, if you're going to take this seriously, go get your license. Right. And there's so much more you can do than just cutting hair. Right. There's so much more. got my license. Um,
And what year is this at the time?
so this is, let's see, I got married in 2015, 13. Well, I've had my license for, it was 6 years ago from now, 2022, 21, 2019, 18, 17, 16. So about 2014.
Okay.
2014. I got married in 2015. So 2014, get my license, get married. About 2016, I move out of the shop that I'm in because, man, them Negroes was pissing me off. Oh, you think you better than everybody else? Now, I'm not gonna say what shop I worked in. If you know me, you know. But
Right.
you know, they got their license a different way than I got mine. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I follow you.
So I'm all knowledge. They all paper.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I'm starting to put that knowledge to work. Cause my teacher over here putting the cables in my back, like, man, do this, do that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to service the hell out of these customers. And I started doing that. And then they would say like little things like, oh man, you know, y'all gonna pay him to wash y'all hair now?
Yeah.
Bruh, you taking money out of my pocket now.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I move out of that shop, move into another shop with a makeup artist. It's just me and her. The beautiful thing about that relationship was she taught me supreme customer service because that's what she just loved to do. Like, she just loved to cater to people.
Yeah.
Stayed with her for a year, I think, a year or two. Then I moved into Sola Salon.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid, scared. It was a lot of money. You know, I'm going from, 125 a week
Yeah.
in somebody's shop to
Mm-hmm.
2+ a week.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was like, I take it or go see it. Shout out to Devon Gibson. He's the one who actually took me over there.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, you need to get over here before it fill up and all these other niggas get over here.
Yeah.
I said, okay. So he was like the fourth person in there or something like that. It was very empty when I got there.
Yeah. So before you move on,
Yeah.
what transition into a suite from a shop environment,
Yep.
like what gave you that confidence to say, you know what, I can do something like this. I'm not working around nobody. Was it that year with just you and the makeup artist that you just got used to not having to be around other people? Because a lot of barbers need that energy
Yeah.
from other barbers. They
Yeah.
need to see what's going on. Was it that year of you and that makeup artist that made it a smoother transition, or did you begin to have bigger vision for what you were trying to do?
Excellent question. So it was a lot of things. It was first of all, me and her were supposed to move into a suite together because we were gonna move out of the place that we were in, and we were gonna move in together. So we went and looked at spots, and she was like, "Nah, I ain't ready."
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going back to where I was.
Yeah.
So it kind of forced me to go in there.
Yeah.
Devon just happened to come at the right time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared.
That's
I'm
good.
not
that
gonna
you
lie.
say that. Yeah. That's good.
I was scared because although I had built a clientele, I had people coming, that followed me from this shop to the next shop.
Mm-hmm.
The money was the biggest fear, and they want their money. Don't matter what's going on in your life. They're making that direct withdrawal.
They definitely do.
So I would say another piece of that was my wife.
Mm.
My wife was the one who, she came and saw it. She said, when we left, she said, get the papers, sign the lease. You're moving. I said, do you remember how much I told you it was? She's like, it's not a problem. She's like, God, this is for you, basically. She's like, God is moving you here.
Married life is a different life.
I am who I am because of who she is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I moved in, and I really don't remember much after that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a blur. I moved in, and then it worked. It just started working, and people came, and then I got a lot of feedback on, man, this is so nice. Glad you moved here. So the back to working around people, I love working around people, but I also am a little selfish. I like things to be the way I like them to be when I like it to be it.
Yeah.
You know, so if I want to play this song, I want to play this song.
Right.
And I don't want you to say, as my coworker, I don't feel like listening to that, or you know, we listen to that enough. Can I
Right.
play something?
Right.
So that was a little bit of it. The other part of it was at that time, suites were becoming very popular, and so my barber instructor was, you know, telling me like, man, you move into a suite, you can charge more. Not even you could charge more. You can cater more to your client.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more one-on-one environment, and it's something special, unique,
Yeah.
you know, that a lot of barbers weren't doing because they were still in shops. You know, this was
Mm-hmm.
before COVID and all of that.
Yeah.
So it was very different for my clients, and they loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, cool. So from there, I moved in. I was at Sola for 4 years. Continued to build my clientele. Definitely went through some lows of trying to figure out, you know, live the life, live in the in between of quality and quantity.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very hard space to live in my opinion, especially with social media, and you know, as you know, as a barber or whoever, you're able to see so much of what everyone else is doing. And I know for me, I compared myself a lot, dangerously,
Mm.
very dangerously.
That's
And
good.
so you know, I'm comparing myself day by day. I'm also, you know, trying to build clientele and do things that I think I'm supposed to be doing, but it's just not enough compared to this person over here.
Yeah.
And so eventually I got to a place where I just said, you know what? I'm over the quantity, and I want to make more quality cuts.
Yeah. That's good.
And the quality will bring the quantity. And then I got to a point where it was like, okay, I don't even want the quantity because I'm not trying to be working all day. You know, so now you have to increase your price.
Mm-hmm.
That also is very scary
Yeah.
because, you know, you increase your price, people are going to leave.
Are you able to say what you were charging at that time versus where you went to?
Yeah, so I think when I moved into the suite, I was probably at 30.
Mm-hmm.
Between 30, yeah, 30 was probably my highest price, because then you go down, you know, a taper. So dumb because a taper is still a haircut.
Right.
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 So
And how long was it taking you for that service for that 30?
for that $30, 40 minutes,
Got it. Okay.
you know? So I'm losing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing. Well, let me say this. I never learned how to cut fast. It's never been my thing. I've tried. I know how to speed up when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't prefer that mode consistently.
Yeah.
So I have cut faster, yes, but again, at this time, I'm really trying to now focus on quality.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting taught new things to do, how to enhance haircuts, how
Yeah.
to make things better, and it's taking time. It wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't go up on my price.
Right.
You know, I should have went up as, you know, as I'm learning these new things and as the quality is improving, so the price has to increase. So I juggled that for a while, and then, you know, went up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Saw the response. Okay.
Now, what was a little bit?
$5.
You went up $5.
$5
Across the board?
Yes,
Okay.
$5.
But at $35 for your top service.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And people were like, okay, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they were cool with it because now, you know, I'm in a suite. Things are better. It's clean. It's private.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, cool, 35. They comfortable.
Yeah.
35, they probably getting like a $60 cut. You know, I don't think they knew it, but
Right.
you know, looking back,
Right.
you know, so I go through that, still building clients. I mean, great, just having a great time. Went and got the unit, went to the unit class.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I was gonna do that, you know, $600. Wish I could get it back. Somebody get it back to me. My Cash App is. But
Did you take the unit class locally, or did you
no,
go
I
out
went out
of
of
state?
state.
You went out of state?
Went out of state.
You went on the West Coast or the East Coast?
Midwest.
Midwest. Okay.
Midwest, yeah. So it wasn't too far, and I didn't have to drive, so that was a plus. But it was $600,
Yeah.
and it reminded me of all those jobs I worked. I found out what I didn't like, found out what I did like.
Mm-hmm.
This was a $600 lesson.
Yeah.
I found out I didn't like it.
Yeah.
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 There were some things that I took away that I added to my service, which now I don't even do no more because I don't like it.
Yeah.
That helped me bring in income, and I definitely made my money back. But on a consistent basis, I didn't want to do it.
Right.
It's a very tedious thing to do.
And it's a different type of a client.
Yes.
Different type of
Different
client,
type of client.
and you have to cater to them a different kind of a way.
Yes. And again, quality driven.
And the $600 service really don't make up for the amount of effort and brain power that you put into it.
I did a full unit one time, and I said to myself, I should have went home after that. Mentally, I was drained.
It was draining.
And I had a full day after that still.
Yeah.
So
So let me ask you a question. Is it because the service is tedious, but you're thinking about the person as they leave, what their lifestyle is like? Like, is it the service doing it, or is it the, like, what is my work going to look like 2 days from now?
both.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about how long it takes,
Mm-hmm.
right? The service. I'm also concerned
We're doing like 3 hours, 4 hours, or less?
about 3 hours.
Yeah.
About 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also concerned about how this person looks and feels
Mm-hmm.
2 days later.
Yes.
Leaving the shop, wow, oh my God, I look great. Amazing. You give them all the tools and info, like, listen, here's what you can't do. Here's what you need to do. Please follow these rules. Okay? This is not your hair.
Yeah. I'll break the ice a little bit. So I had a unit client. I probably shouldn't say that. He's a choir director
Okay. All right.
that likes to get into his craft.
Yes, sir.
Had a unit. He got the flipping, got the shouting, and the unit flipped up. Because heat and moisture loosens up.
Yeah. That's something the Holy Ghost couldn't hold together. Holy Ghost got power.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that type of power that day.
And that was what made me pull back from,
Yeah.
because it was like, wait a minute. There has to be education that go in on
Yeah.
the client part. We
Yeah.
can't just be doing them, sending them out the door because we got a little bag.
Yep.
The money feels nice. However, this is a service-based business.
Yeah.
And you got to complete the service, not just in the chair, but the long-term care, which is like when you go to like the doctor's office and they give you prescription of medicine or whatever, there's instructions
Oh, yeah.
of what to do daily.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we're not doing, typically a lot of us aren't doing that. What's
Yeah.
the daily maintenance?
And you have to treat those specific type of clients like children. You have to tell them repetitively, do this, don't do that.
Yeah.
Every time. It could be a year later, and you still have to tell them. Because one, they leave and they feel like it's my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I look like I used to look, so I'm going to do the things that I
Mm-hmm.
do daily. And now maybe I'm going to do some things I ain't done, because I got a little bit more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, bro, you have to take care of this, because not only is it going to make you look bad, it's going to make me look bad. Because nobody's going to say, man, you messed up your hair. They're going to say, who did that?
Right.
Your name
Exactly.
is going to be attached to that.
Exactly.
And so I removed myself from that game.
Right. This is unnecessary stress.
Unnecessary. Like, the money, like you said, is great. If you do 2 or 3 of those in a day, I mean, that's usually what some people make in a week.
Mm-hmm.
But what is my peace
Yeah.
and my stress level?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So,
And so you had solar.
yep,
Prices went up.
yep.
Business is stable and growing,
Consistent,
consistent,
consistent, which is something that people, oh man, what's your busy days? Friday, Saturday? No, I'm consistent.
consistent. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I a lot of learning going on. A lot of learning going on. And the one thing that I love about this profession is you're never done learning.
Mm-hmm.
It could be learning something about yourself. It could be learning something about the craft, the industry, whatever. But you're always learning. And so I learned I didn't want busy Friday, Saturday.
What's a busy day for you? Like, like when is it like, okay, that's too much?
Yeah. So I pace myself, well, I limit myself 8 to 10 clients a day.
That's good.
And that's because I found out my eyes get fatigued. My body may be good, but my eyes get fatigued. And my haircuts start looking different
Yeah.
after that.
That's good.
And depending on what that 8 to 10 is booking, I make it go a little longer. I may need to do a little shorter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I have, majority teenagers that day and then maybe a few, well, then I could probably do like 12, maybe. I
Yeah.
could maybe squeeze 12.
Yeah.
But if I'm consistently high level cutting, man, my eyes be done, bro.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's just more quality stuff. And I feel like I never sought out to go find out what does quality mean. I just said, I want to do quality haircuts. And then all the things that associate itself with quality started coming to me and started being, revealed. Nah, revealed sounds so, oh my gosh, sounds so scholar, but not revealed, but it just started standing out. Those
Yeah.
things started making a difference. Like,
Yeah.
making sure that blends are better and making sure that people feel great. Let's not forget about that. People
Yeah.
want to feel good while they're in your chair.
Yeah.
They want to talk. They want to have good conversation. And they want all of that. So that's a part of a quality haircut. If I'm rushing, if I'm trying to get 15 cuts a day, I don't want to talk to you. You're going to be talking, asking me questions. I'm going to miss questions because I'm going to be focusing on how fast I can get you out of the chair. And now people feel like, man, you just taking my money. And that's one thing I never want nobody to feel in my chair. Like, you taking my money, man.
Yeah.
For me, personally, I want people to get out of the chair and be like, I didn't pay enough.
Yeah. That's good.
I didn't pay enough.
Yeah. That's good.
So
with that being said, you got in Solar Suite, started going up in your prices. Where are you at today?
So today, a classic haircut. My teacher says, "Stop! Don't be saying regular." Classic
I like your
haircut
teacher.
is $45,
Okay.
and then it goes
For how long?
Um,
The same 40 minutes?
yeah, I book about an hour.
Okay.
Just for that
Is
buffer.
that for like the pacing and just
Yeah.
run behind, client run behind,
Yep.
you can clean up behind?
Yep.
That's good.
And then we go full service, which is a wash. My full service is wash, and if you have facial hair, all of that, right? That is 60.
The 60? Okay.
And then, if we're getting into coloring, then it's 80.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What's your top service? Like if someone said, I want whatever your biggest package is.
Probably the color service. And if it's not color, then it would just be a full service.
And that's the one that's 80?
Color service is 80.
And it takes how long?
About 2 hours.
Okay, got it.
And that's with waiting for the color to develop on the client's head and all of that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, let's transition just a little bit. I love your story.
Yeah.
I love. I've been, if you don't know, I've been working behind the chair since I was in high school. I started in 1999.
Oh my.
I was a senior in high school. It happened on accident.
Yeah.
It was not. I was working in the barbershop. I was still in high school, obviously. I'm one of those people that don't have a license.
Yeah.
But that was never my goal. My goal was to go be a student at Columbia.
Okay.
I was a music major. And as a music major, my ambitions was to be a road musician for Jodeci. Because in my mind, they would never, their career would never end.
God spared you, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I could not even tell you why. Why? I think it was that 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 one of the albums just was like, oh, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
This this sound would never die to me.
Shout out Puff Daddy. Man.
And it's still great, like hearing it, but it's like I'm like you said, God really spared me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I've been around a while. I've watched, I've seen things, and um, I'm I'm on the opposite side of like the ambitious barber that out in the industry building up a career platform artist. Yes, I've been a part of competitions. I have trophies. I've won competitions in the early 2000s. I'm that, but I'm more introverted. I'm more on the quiet side. I'm more into how can I take care of my family. I have a
Yeah.
wife. I have 5 sons. That's my only focus. It's the only thing that I desire is to build something that serves them in some kind of way.
Yeah.
So, not wasn't dreaming about salons. I wasn't dreaming about how many salons I can have.
Yeah.
That wasn't, and if I'm honest, you know, I got to a point where I stopped believing that was even possible because I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the hardship and the things that people went through to build those type of industries. Marriages fail. I
Absolutely.
seen have no relationships with their children, and that was just something that I wasn't willing to do
Yeah.
because my business is to serve my family, not the other way around.
Mm.
And I remember how I got to the suites
Mm-hmm.
was to start everything all over, completely, as my first mentor said, take everything about my business, everything that I did from 1999 to 2015, soak it in gasoline and burn it up because I've been doing business the wrong way for a long time. And I came here to start over. So when I started here, that was the first time I went up on my prices. I was always on the higher end. I was always like the Hollywood barber. Like he charged, like I was at $25, like 2005.
Okay.
So I was always on the higher end. It was always like my highest service, 2005, was $50.
You make my ears hurt when you say that, man.
It's gonna make you hurt even more. I stayed there all the way to 2015. I never changed. Everything went up. I was having more kids. I never went up on my prices. I never. So I'm doing more people. I'm the one that's doing 25 and 30 people. I'm that barber. I'm in the shop 6 in the morning, 10:30 at 11 o'clock at night, 5 days a week, no vacations. And that was just a way of life. I accepted it. My mom has a saying, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. And I accepted that. Hey, this is just what it was. But my first mentor, he reached out to me, Raymond Torgano. He's from Columbus, Georgia. I've been watching this guy online for years. And coincidentally, he's been watching me. He reached out to me, called, we had a conversation that changed my life.
Yeah.
It was January of 2015. He told me January 2015, the shop that I was at, dude, you need to leave there immediately and start everything all over. I didn't leave that shop until December 31st, 2015. Because I take slow steps.
Yeah.
I wasn't fully convinced. I wasn't completely confident. I understood exactly what he was saying. I agree with what he's saying. But I didn't know how to start over. So me being here at Phoenix Salon Suites from January of 2016 to now, this has just been a journey about me starting over my business and pushing my limits, studying Chicagoland barbering, studying, instead of trying to focus on the industry as a whole. I don't really care that much. I care about the industry. I love the industry. But I've grown a heart for seeing, like, everything that I've learned in these past couple of years is that we have unnecessarily stressed ourselves out because we don't know the value that we have in our industry. We don't know what we bring. The government had to tell us that we were a luxury.
Yeah.
In 2020, when everything got shut down, it was like only essential businesses open. Like, wait a minute, I'm not an essential business. So if you're not essential, why do we charge prices as if we're essential?
Yeah.
And not to say that everybody has to go up on price. There's a place for a $30 haircut.
Absolutely.
There's a place for $20. Like there's a profitable business for that. You just have to decide what you want to be. But what I went on the journey was to just come out of my comfort zone and start recording content for a specific type of a person.
Yeah.
This is not to go viral. It probably would never will. Because it's only certain kind of people having honest conversations about where they're at in their business. Yep. Some people are like too busy. Like, let me show you how glamorous it is. I'm traveling here. I'm doing this. I'm doing $200 haircuts. Whatever it is. And those are great. But it's some people that just want a simple life. I want to be able to work, service my people, go home, take care of my family, figure out how to retire from this.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's so fitting that you say that because I am your guy. I have a friend. He called me. It's Friday at 5 o'clock. Man, you out the shop? You closed? Yeah, man, I'm done for the day. Man, boy, I don't know how you do it. I got 3 kids. One just moved. 2 little boys, 3 and 5, and my wife is pregnant now.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going home.
Yeah,
I'm going home because I can't expel all my energy here. Mm-hmm. Get home and have nothing for them.
Yeah,
it's not fair to them.
Yeah.
So I have to determine how much energy am I going to spend here, charge up on my way home, and then go home and be a great father and a loving husband.
Yeah, yeah. So I know I peeped that you have a product line that I'm really interested in how you got started in that. But before I do that, what made you hit the button and like reach out to me? So for those that are watching, this is our first time meeting.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
This is a meeting. But hearing your story, I'm like, that's my bro.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. You as well, man.
It's like one of those things like of course the hair in common and then the music and the wife and the kids, and you can hear in your language that you're a follower of Christ. Like it's in your language. So we're brothers in the industry.
Yes, sir.
Brothers. Well, I'm like a step brother or something because I don't play music anymore. But
you gotta get back in. We're gonna get you back on the organ, man.
Brothers in the Lord. And that's really dope. But what was it what did you see? What did you listen to that say, hey, I'm gonna reach out to you?
So I've been following you on Instagram. Our mutual friend, both mutual friends that we have, was the reason I followed you. I started following you.
Okay.
Because nice. Demond was like, Man, I'm gonna come see you. And then I saw his picture on your page, and I was like, damn, nigga, like, I'm right down the street from there. Oh man. But I mean, you laced his cut, so I was like, and then the crazy thing, he was like, man, no, I'm coming for real. I was like, nah, go back to where you've been going. Quiet as it kept. I was like, I don't want to go behind that work because then you go back there and be like, man, who cut you up, man? So I started following you just because of that, right? And just recently, I took like a year plus break from social media. I still haven't gone back to Facebook. I'm really only on Instagram to post for exposure. Now I'm understanding post for exposure, post for exposure, not for likes, post for exposure. So I was scrolling through one day, and actually, I was gonna reach out to your son because I saw Philip Tyler do some stuff with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want to do some content because I have tried my hand at podcasting. I've so this was so perfect when you said yes, come. I was like, yeah. And then I prayed this morning in the shower. I said, Lord, okay, this is something I desire, something I like to do. I said, but I don't want to show up as me. I want to show up as you. And so remove me out of the way, and let your Holy Spirit speak through me.
Yeah.
I'm also the director of our student ministry at church. So
Nice.
it's just something new that I've gotten,
Yeah.
into. And so my relationship with God has definitely increased. And so my language reflects that. And that ultimately is the reason why I can be successful at doing what I do. Not because I'm a great barber
Yeah.
by any means. I really look at my work and I'm like, I can improve. But it's because of the God in me that he's let me become successful in whatever that means.
Hold on, pause.
Yeah.
Don't let the modest talk fool you. He follow Stay Fresh on Instagram. He got some heat on there that's like he's spicy. Like don't. I'm very aware, and I watch. I watch very close. You have a nice hand.
Thank you.
And you have a good eye.
Thank you.
Yeah, but what I noticed that takes your cuts to that $65 range,
Yeah.
I'm already telling you where I like charge $65. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like that. As you can see, I shifted. Those prices make me uncomfortable because I know I would never pay that much for a haircut, personally.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just said that out loud. I've thought that my whole life.
And that's probably why you can't charge it yet, because you haven't done it.
Yes.
So you just need to just do it.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Still, as much skin in the game as I have, it is still scary to go up to that level, knowing that somebody else can say, bro, that is definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not at that level. I'm not at a subpar level trying to charge high price. And somebody saying like, no, you need to be back the other way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this too. Because I'm a Christ follower, I do try to move as Christ instructs me to move.
That's good. That's good.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
good.
And to some people, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'll tell you, while I was in the suites, man, comparing myself, I went through a very dark period. I wanted to quit. I wanted to just go get a regular job. I was tired of cutting hair. And I was stressing myself out about who was booking and how far in advance they were booking, right? So it'd be Tuesday, and I'm looking at Saturday. Like, man, there's only 3 people booked on Saturday. I'm only going to have 3 people to cut on Saturday. So I'm running all these specials, and I'm doing all this. I mean, I did everything that I thought was imaginable to promote and market myself. Nothing changed, right? So as I'm in this super depressed state, I don't even know how I came across this conversation, but it was just about how God provides, right? And how the
Yeah.
birds and the flowers, they don't want for anything. And that God will supply your daily bread. And what is your daily bread? Whatever he feels you need in that day.
Yeah.
And so it took me a while to understand that and let that rest, and I should say, and rest in that word. But when I did, and I just started focusing on one day, if it was 3 people that one day, my prayer wasn't, God, why am I not cutting more hair? It was, Lord, what do you want me to do with this time?
Yeah.
You know, what do you want me to do with this time? And so sometimes it was, man, I go read the word. Sometimes I just go hang and chill out at Starbucks. Sometimes I would be researching stuff for products.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would be trying to create content. But it was no longer the worry about 4 days from now. It was just today.
Yeah.
What is for today? What
Yeah.
is God providing for me for today? And so when I tell people I live like that, they be looking at me like, you crazy.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense
Yeah.
to only focus on one day. And it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to live like that. It's hard to not worry about my kids and college funds and what they're going to do when they turn 18, and 20,
Yeah.
right? They're 5 and 3.
Yeah.
That is a long way from now.
Yeah.
You know, can I put myself in a great position so that I will have something for them when they turn that age? Yes. But to worry about it and to stress myself out about, oh, I need to be opening up a shop because that makes great money. If I get 10 barbers in a shop at $200 a chair, that's $2,000 a week. Then if I open up one, man, maybe I can find another location. That is stressful thought. And
Yeah.
then when you start doing it, and let's say it does happen, right? Let's say I do open up a shop. What happens when 8 barbers leave?
Yeah.
And now I have a 10-chair barbershop that now my pockets have to cover the expense for until I get those chairs filled. I don't want that stress.
Yeah.
I'm not built for that. Some people are built for that, and I
Yeah.
love them because they help the world go around. But Kyle is not built for that. And I learned, is learning yourself, learning what you're strong at, learning what your weaknesses are. I learned I'm not built for that type of life. What am I built for? I'm built for working, 3, 4 days a week, doing what I love to do. That is my thing.
Yeah.
I do what I love to do. It sounds selfish, yes. I just told a client, because he had asked me, man, he has some situation where he can't drive at night. And he was like, man, can you just come to my house every week and cut me up? I'll pay you da-da-da-da-da. I was like, in passing. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Because I thought about the money. I was like, man, it's going to be a monthly, two plus a month. Cool. Came time to do it. I didn't want to do it
Yeah.
because I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, I didn't know how to really tell you. And plus, once I thought about our conversation, I was like, I don't want to do that. That's why I charge like $250 plus to come to somebody.
Right.
Because it's high enough where people have to think 3 times. 3 times.
I love it.
You
I
know?
love it.
Because if you're going to pull me out and make me carry all my tools somewhere and cut in an environment that's not really comfortable for me, and I have to make all these adjustments to make sure you still look great, right?
Yep.
You're going to pay, And so this dude is, and this guy is like my guy. He's my guy. And so we had a conversation, and I told him, I said, well, he's my guy, but it's a new relationship, but he's really my guy already, And I told him, I said, man, one thing about me, money don't move me.
Yeah.
I've never had a lot of it, but I just know what I want to do and what I don't want to do. And it doesn't matter how much money you throw in front of it. If I don't want to do it, I ain't going to do it.
Right.
And I've been like that my whole life. My mother says I am a passive, disobedient son. Passive, because I would never say I ain't gonna do it.
Right.
I would just not do it with a
Just not do
smile.
it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So, that's not to toot my own horn or anything. Like I want people to take it as such, but I I guess the encouragement I would give is that don't let money move you. Do what you
Yeah.
love to do, because then you'll never get tired of doing it. Had I said and committed to cutting this man's hair at his house every week, I guarantee you by the third time, I would have been angry cutting his hair. I would have had an attitude.
Yeah.
And as him being my friend, he would have picked up on it and be like, man, what's good? You all right? What's up with you? And then I would have lied. Oh, nothing, man. I'm good. I'm just tired. But really in my heart, I didn't want to do what I was doing.
Right. Right.
Last thing, and then I'll let you. Tabitha Brown, I heard her say something about her marriage and how, her whole life she had fixed her husband's plate. I love Tabitha Brown too. I swear she's my cousin. I don't know, but if you see this Tabitha Brown, you my cousin. Shout out, okay. But she was making her husband's plate her whole life, as the whole time they've been married. Let's say 20, 30 plus years, and she started to get tired of doing it. But she was like, man, I started doing this, and she said her mother told her, don't ever commit to something that you can't maintain.
I like that. Yeah.
Don't commit to something you can't maintain. And so I knew I didn't want to maintain cutting his hair at his home.
Mm-hmm.
And although I prematurely committed to it, I caught it quick enough to say, hey man, we need to do something else,
Like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was so cool about it. He was like, bro, you should have just told me. You should have just told me. He's like, so now I'm just gonna ask, can you stay a little bit later, and allow me to get home from, get off of work to get. I said, that's no problem. 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to stay for, man, you my guy. I'm going to stay for you regardless.
Yeah.
So, but if we had never had that conversation,
Right.
we could have fell out,
Right.
just over
Not
something.
communicating.
Not communicating. Yeah.
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 That's good. That's good. So you have this product line, and I want to. So there's two things I want to do. I want to give you an opportunity because I love not only that you have a product line, but your product line is geared towards solving a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you did something specific with the shampoo that solves a problem that most people don't even realize is a problem.
So I have a product line, and it started, probably before the pandemic, right? I think it amped up during the pandemic. So me and my brother, he's like my COO, he's my little brother. We're having this dialogue. I'm telling him what I want to do, and so at one point he was actually trying to make a product for locks because he had locks, and so also my teacher, right?
She's still very much involved in your life?
Yeah. So I'm in school now to get
Okay.
my teacher's instructor's license.
Nice.
That's a part of my retirement plan.
Nice.
But she is a barber instructor, cosmetology instructor, and natural hair care instructor. So when I was in barber school, it was never just about cutting hair. First of all, she was like, I'm glad that you already know how to cut hair because I don't cut hair. So I'm just going to teach you this book.
Mm.
And when I say she taught me the book, plus everything else she's been doing her whole life. Now, crazy thing is, her father was a hairstylist too, out in Chicago. So she grew up in the shop like I did. And so she has a wealth of knowledge that she's pouring out, right? And so she's telling, hey, here's what I do. Here's how to fix this problem. And I'm soaking it up. I'm writing it down. I don't even know if I wanted to do a product line then, but I just thought it was cool because I could now transfer that knowledge and turn it into a service. More money.
Yeah.
So she's pouring out, which then ignites a fire in me to go do research on my own, right? And find out, okay, essential oils, what do these do? How do you make them work for you? What problems do they solve? So I get into that lane.
Mm-hmm.
So I start with this shampoo. It was a clarifying shampoo. It was all right. It was all right. I didn't like the consistency of it, but it worked. At that time, though, I didn't know how to speak the language on how to explain products to people. I was just saying, hey, I got my own shampoo. I'm your barber. You should buy it. And that's what, that's what my clients did at least one time. So after that, I just have all this products. I'm like, all right, what am I going to do now? So it was I'm done now. I'm pissed off because it's not really moving like I wanted to move. So I put it on the back burner, and then I pick it up again, and so I'm working with this team of chemists out of Texas, and I'm shooting them ideas and saying okay now I want to start focusing on, because I started seeing my clients with dry scalp. A lot of my clients, men, they come in, hair is just nasty. And I'm like, when the last time you washed your hair, bro? You didn't want to wash it before? Man, I did. I washed, when? I washed it before I came. I washed it last night. No, sir. No, you didn't. That's what I'm saying in my head. I'm going to wash you anyway, right? So I get to the bowl, and I'm running the water through their hair, and it's just build up, oil, sweat, any product that they didn't put in their hair. It's just all coming out of their hair. So now, and this is not overnight. This is months and years of doing this, and I having ideas. A part of that time of, God, what do you want me to do with this time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's good.
So I'm seeing this, and I'm like, okay, men don't know how to wash their hair. They don't know the frequency of when they need to wash their hair. Because 90% of the men say, oh, yeah, man, I heard you're not supposed to wash your hair every day. And I tell them, do you take a shower every day? Yeah. You must set your scalp on the sink and then get in the shower. Because I'm not understanding, how do you take a shower and you're not washing your hair every day? Well, I heard. So now we get into wives' tales of, well, black people shouldn't wash their hair every day. And I heard it'll dry you out. And I said, okay, all right. So I'm learning, I'm listening to the customer. Okay, so we need something that can solve dry scalp, add moisture. And now I'm seeing a lot of product, right? Because now we're getting into guys wearing their hair longer, doing the sponge style, all of that, but they're not washing their hair. So now they got all this product built up. Okay, and they scalp stink. Men, please. I tell, and it's I ain't even gonna say it's younger people, man. It's all ranges. I said, bro, how are you getting into bed next to your girl like this? She's just not telling you, or her nose is broken, one of the two. But your scalp smells, and I would tell them, like, bro, your scalp stinks. And sometimes, in the bowl, in the wash bowl, you'll get a whiff of it, and I'm like, you smell that? I'm like, yeah, that's your scalp, bro. And now, and I wasn't doing it in a derogatory way.
Yeah.
I was trying to inform them, like, you need to change. You need to learn how to wash your hair properly, and I'm gonna help you, right? So I say, it's not so much what you it's not so much what you put in or how frequently you wash your hair. It's replacing what you take out.
Yeah.
So it's the type of shampoo you're using. And so now we got to go down the line of what is not good shampoo to use. I say anything in the store. Like anything that says 2-in-1 or and it's mostly geared toward Caucasian men, right? So all of their products that are geared towards them is not really good for us. And you're not putting anything back in, right? So the other thing I heard was, man, I just use whatever my wife got. And I said,
Classic response.
yes. I said, well, you're gonna piss your wife off because she's paying a lot of money for her products, and and that may be why they only wash it one or two times a week. So I've revamped the
Mm-hmm.
product line with the intention of having men have a routine to wash their hair. And so I said, man, I'm gonna come up with a process that's very simple. And so I came up with a 3-step process: shampoo, spray leave-in conditioner, and pomade.
Why spray leave-in conditioner over the traditional leave-in, let it sit for 3 minutes,
Yep,
and rinse out?
because they're men.
Yeah, good answer.
They're not gonna follow instructions. They want something that's quick and easy,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So it's not hard to forget. You
Yes.
know, hey, when you get out of the shower, after you wash your hair, after you cleanse your scalp, let the water run through it first. Massage your scalp. That'll loosen up all the dirt. And if you want to even take it a step further, comb or brush your hair before you get in the shower.
Yeah.
That's really going to loosen it up. This is
Yeah.
all these stuff you learned in school, right? I didn't
Yep.
know none of this
Right.
until I went to school.
Right.
And so now I can transfer that information to my client, which even if they don't buy a product, it enhances their life. They now know how to wash their hair better.
Yeah.
You know? So wash your hair, get out, leave your hair damp, spray it in, let it sit, brush as desired.
Yeah.
How easy is that?
Right.
And that's what, so it was a simple 3-step process that would be easy for men to follow,
Yeah.
you know. And so that's that. So when it came down to like what type of products, I wanted one to do for each. I wanted one that would help add moisture to a dry scalp, and then
Mm-hmm.
I wanted one that would help remove product and smell and sweat for somebody who's very active or who isn't going to wash their hair on the regular, So that's how we
Yeah.
came up with the charcoal detoxifying shampoo. It helps, remove impurities from your scalp.
Mm-hmm.
Helps, take away product buildup,
Yeah.
and then the deep moisture is going to help add moisture to your scalp.
Why is moisture important? Why do men need to even care about that?
Yeah, so moisture is what helps your hair grow. If you don't have moisture on your scalp, and as black people or people of color, maybe you're Hispanic or whatever. And I'm actually going to say this in reverse. I realize why white people can wear shorts in the winter, and that's because their body produces more oil than anyone else. So when they have oil, that layer of oil on their skin, they don't feel the cold like we do,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
That's why their products can't work for us. They're not adding moisture to their products. They know their demographic is already retaining moisture.
Mm-hmm.
They want to, balance it out,
Yeah.
or get rid of it.
Yeah.
So, I wanted a product that would, help retain, I'm not going to say add, but help retain the moisture
Mm-hmm.
on your scalp, right?
Yeah.
And this is why it's important to do this daily because, your head is exposed to the elements. And depending on where you work, if you wear a hat all the time, if you wear a do-rag, I tell men, stop wearing do-rags, please, for long periods of time.
Yeah.
If you're going to wear it, while you get dressed so, your shirt doesn't mess up your hair or whatever, that's fine. But
Yeah.
prolonged periods
Mm-hmm.
of wearing do-rags is actually doing more damage than good.
Yeah.
You see a lot of men that are having alopecia around the line of their do-rag, right? Because it's rubbing, it's tearing their hair out. And now you're asking your barber, give me a low fade, but don't. It's like, bro, I have to take this higher than this line now, It's also trapping in dirt, and if you're not washing your do rag, now it's a gamut of things that men have been doing wrong,
Yeah.
and I felt like I want to be the person to help them do it right,
Yeah.
So for a long time, for a while, I would just go in the stores, and I would look at quote unquote black hair products,
Yeah.
and they should be ashamed of themselves
Mm-hmm.
because they are the culprit of a lot of balding and thinning men.
Mm-hmm.
It's twofold. It's their fault because they know what these ingredients do to people's scalps. The first ingredient that should be in your product is water. The second should be a natural type of ingredient. And so what I learned as I'm doing this research and development is that hair products are listed in ingredients greatest to least. So the first thing that you have, the first thing that you read on that product, you're gonna have the most in there. So if it's not water, what is it?
Right.
Right? And then the second, and so on and so forth, right? So a lot of these products, and I'm not going to name any product name, but let's say you pick up a can of grease. It may be black, maybe orange, maybe blue. And the first ingredient is petroleum, dead,
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Petroleum is not bad, but in a large quantity,
Yeah.
terrible,
Yeah.
especially for us.
Yeah.
And so, we've had men putting this petroleum on their hair, not washing it out, not massaging their scalp, not doing none of that. They're caking it on, layering it on, right? Because I'm trying to lock my waves in. No, and lock them in, bro.
Yeah.
Right? But you would be surprised at the number of men that I talk to that are either balding, thinning, or bald. First question I ask them, did you ever have braids? That's the first question I ask, because you get traction alopecia, right, from being too tight. And a lot of men grew up in that Iverson age, and they was getting their hair done 2-3 times a week because they want to switch the designs, right? But the person who was braiding their hair, man, tight. So over time, that hair started to recede. That's one thing. So if they say no, I never had braids, then I say, what kind of? I said, do you ever have waves? Oh yeah, man. When I was growing up in high school, man, I was killing them with the waves. What kind of pomade did you used to use? Oh man, in the black can. Yes. Oh boy. How you know that? I said, I can tell by the way your hair is, man. I said, and I'm guessing that you used to wear do-rag a lot. Yeah, man, that's how I got my. And so I would love to do a case study of the products people have used and how it has affected their scalp.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you would find that a lot of the problems that men have come from those products.
Yeah.
So shame on them because they know, and then shame on us because we don't know how to properly wash our hair. We're saying, oh no, I don't wash it because, I heard it's going to dry my scalp out. Or I heard it's going to take my waves out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's depressing to hear because it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, black folks saying, yeah, I went and got a perm. No, ma'am, you got a relaxer because perms, they do that and relaxers do this. So it's just bad. It's misinformation that we've had in the black community.
Yeah.
Our whole lives.
Yeah.
So is it going to be hard to shift that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I believe if there's another option, then, people would at least start to try another option. You may not see results immediately, but think about how long you've been doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I just went to the gym today, first time in years, and I thought about how hard it was to walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes. I said, but then how long have I been eating bad? It's not going to change today.
That's good.
So is it a process? Yeah. But if you have a product that you can use that is made with natural ingredients, minus the things that have to give it its shelf life, because that's one thing. Man, it's got this in it, though. Well, it's got to be preserved, sir.
Yeah.
It's got to be preserved. But if you go through and look, man, we're using sunflower seed oil instead of mineral oil. We're using aloe vera juice. We're using keratin. We're using all these great things for your hair. We're using black seed oil instead of petroleum. These are the things, and the men just don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. Women have 12 aisles full of hair products.
Yeah.
And
so I'm tempted to get you to break down what all those products do, because it's exciting, my mind is exploding. However, I know that you went on a little sabbatical from doing content creating, and I've seen your videos when you was posting.
Yeah.
I would love to see you get back into creating content about your product, breaking it down if you haven't already started.
Yeah.
It's just like breaking it down.
I was on a hustle, man. I was driven. I was driven. And life shifted, right? Life shifted because I moved from the suite into my new space. Then I really didn't have a desire to push content like that. I was frustrated because I was posting for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I was posting for likes,
Mm-hmm.
posting for comments, and then it's like 14 likes. It's like, bro, that took me 45 minutes to edit that video. I had to pick the perfect music to go with that video,
Yeah.
you know? And then it's like people wasn't breaking down my door to come get the product either,
Yeah.
you know? And so I stepped back. I was like, man, I'm chilling for a minute, you know?
Yeah.
And then I got a fresh wind,
Yeah.
right? So I started back up again. And one of my friends told me, he said, Kyle, you have great content, you have a great product, but you don't have a place to send people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do.
They just see it and it's like,
Wow.
next,
Yep.
next. Because you didn't know call to action.
No call to action, no website, nothing. You know, of course in the caption I'm putting, oh, you could purchase in shop. But I'm thinking so locally.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking so small-mindedly.
Right. You're not thinking about the person that's 20 miles from you.
Yes.
That's like, hey, I have a barber, but this person, like, he can't tell me what I should get from the store.
Yeah.
And even why I should get it.
Yep.
And I'm lost. I came across your content and I heard that the charcoal does something. You put out this video explaining why charcoal is our base ingredient for this.
Yeah.
Why do we do charcoal? I mean, I already know this geared towards the impurities and pulling
Yeah.
things out. They don't know that though.
Yeah.
We don't know that. Why did you do the leave-in conditioner? It's like because you understand how men move and we want to go, and you just want to make things simple so that we can build healthy habits.
Yeah.
Like I see those things, and it's like, man, you made this purchase so easy because I'm just gonna.
Bro,
You got a whole new clientele now that has nothing to do with cutting hair.
when I tell you I hate selling things, I hate selling things. But 98% of my clients that purchase from me, they're like, all right, let me get it. And I'm like, and as I'm explaining it, right? As I'm explaining what I'm using on them and why I'm using it, I'm also saying, I'm not trying to sell it to you though. Because my intentions are not to sell you the product. I want you to buy it, but I don't want to have to sell it to you.
Yeah.
And at the end of that conversation, I say, bro, you sold me though.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I wasn't trying to. I was really just trying to explain to you what these products do.
Yeah.
And I hope you buy it.
Yeah.
You know? So that's probably more my personality
Yeah.
than me not understanding that I need to sell the product.
Yeah.
I like an easy sell. I like things to sell itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was, you know, it's such a process, man.
Yeah.
It is, as I really think about it, I almost want to cry. Like, it is a process that I've been through, and not just me, but anybody who's creating anything. It's a process. And the process is day to day, little steps, little steps, little steps, little steps. And so all of these little steps have led me up to where I am now, which my goal was to be in big box stores.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, sometimes I feel like, well, I'm not in the store yet, so I'm not. I haven't achieved my goal. But I would say now my product is like 99.9% of the way ready to be in the store. Only thing it's missing is a barcode.
Mm.
That's it. And so I think that's why I go through waves of I'm driven and then I'm not. I'm driven and then I'm not. In those not times, it's because I really just need to take a break. I really just need to breathe in and look at, okay, what have we accomplished? Kyle, you're one person with a family and a business trying to make a business.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen overnight, right? It's going to be the little consistent steps that you take. I wish I could write that down and just read it every morning or say it to myself, because now it's very helpful. I'm feeling very achieved, you know. But in the moment, it doesn't feel like
Right. Yeah,
achievement,
let's feel that
you
way.
know.
Let me ask you, what would need to be true for you to put more focus on creating content for your product, more intentional content?
Yeah, probably somebody to follow me around with a camera,
Okay.
because I have great ideas in the moment, but then it's like, okay, now I gotta stop. I need to set my camera up. I gotta, okay, what? I, it's hard to get that moment back
Mm-hmm.
when the moment is right there and everything I want to say is right at my lips.
Right.
When I have to stop, set it up,
Yep.
run it back.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it don't feel organic no
Yep.
more. Now it
So,
feels like I'm selling it.
so what would need to be true for you to have somebody there with a camera to just document the moment?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm?
I don't know.
Well, the first thing we can think of, you gotta it's some type of compensation somewhere,
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
it's barter somewhere or whether it's financial. But let's just say it's financial. Like how, if you can follow my logic,
yeah, yeah,
I'm already like,
yeah,
that's why you gotta go up in your prices.
yeah,
Because you got to be able to, because now you're building out your team now. And you got to pay them, and you want to pay them a competitive rate where they're available and not doing their other job
yeah.
or going to go work for another barber. And you want them to be available.
Um,
And this is we ain't talking about every day. We're just talking about you can do once a month where it's
yeah,
like, okay, this is the content day.
yep,
These are the things that I want to be discussing and make it a day. You got your you change your clothes,
yep,
start at 6 in the morning and maybe build content around your health journey and getting in there and showing you using the product and in and out
yeah.
because you made the products to be on the go. Like it's just
Part of that, my toxic trait is, I think I can do that myself. Because the internet has made it look so easy to develop your own content. Right?
right.
All you need is an iPhone.
And
All you need is
technically you can.
you can, but there's more to it.
Right. Now, I would personally encourage you to start off doing it yourself so you can build like this is what I want and what
Yeah,
I don't want. So then that way now you can as the business move is you can either spend a lot of money on someone who could completely make the best content ever for you. But with that skill level that comes with a cost.
absolutely.
Or you can build the template and hire somebody that's interested
Yeah,
that all they have to do is just follow exactly what you did.
yeah,
You can keep your costs down lower.
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna pay somewhere,
You're
either
gonna pay
in
someone.
time or you're gonna pay
Yeah,
in money.
and what I've learned about wealthy people is they value their time.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have a problem paying if it's going to gain them their time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been trying to live in that mindset, but I'm also black, and I also think that I can do everything myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Employees, what?
Yeah.
No, I don't need no employees.
Yeah.
That is, I would say that is our culture's mindset. We talk about, man, I'm the boss and the CEO. Well, how many employees do you have though? You do not count. you know. So yes, it is. It is probably time to start expanding, and not probably. I believe that if I want the product to go where I want it to go, it's gonna need some content behind it,
Yeah.
for sure.
What is most important for you, building the product or building your brand behind the chair, or they're both one and the same?
I'm ready to get from behind the chair.
You ready to get from behind the chair?
Yeah. So
What has to be true for you to be from behind the chair?
that product in the store.
That product and stuff.
Actually, not even in the store, because I really don't need it in the store, but I just need it consistently selling. Consistently selling. And then I can reduce even more my time behind the chair, right? Because right now, because I've been fortunate to get a position with my church, 3 days behind the chair, Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah.
If I get a product that is, I see y'all on Thursday and Friday morning, maybe Friday until my wife get off work, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, because I don't want to completely not cut hair, because I do love it. I love it, but man, so many years in the game, it's like, okay, man, how many more hours these feet gonna take us standing up?
Yeah.
How many? So, but to your point, that does come raising prices. All of that.
So do you know? So what would best serve you, like in what I'm doing? Would it be me showing you the formula of how to come up with the pricing, or exposing more eyes on the product? Because I know what I already think.
I personally, product.
I think they're both one and the same, and because they're
True.
both one and the same, you're a $65 to $100 barber.
That just made my stomach turn. It is
Because
probably,
you're not doing haircuts.
yeah.
You're not doing a haircut. You're restoring what men are losing.
Yeah.
You're what you're trying to do is help people create healthy habits so they can keep their hair longer. The fuller their hair are, the healthier their hair is, the better their haircuts turn out.
Yeah.
I see this inevitably, like, if you already understand why you put charcoal into that, I don't see, it's only a matter of time before you start getting to skincare. If you got clear skin, you got sharper lines, you got better blends, because the contrast between smooth skin and full dark hair, like I think your beginning is the shampoo and conditioner, because that's the foundation of good hair.
Yeah.
Right.
I have been dabbling in skincare.
Yeah. It's a natural, and you're not selling haircuts anymore. So why are you charging for a haircut? They can get a haircut if that's what they want.
Yeah.
But I know right off the bat with the time in which you do, and I've watched your process online, like, if you don't go, at least 50 is your base.
Wow.
At least that's the base where everything starts. And I can tell you that the people are going to have a problem with it. They wasn't even your client. They were a customer. But customers are the ones that search around for the price that they want to spend at the places that's most convenient. The client is the one that is like, I have this problem. Kyle is the one that understands the problem. He can solve it. Yeah, I can go to Mike.
Yeah.
But Mike don't understand what Kyle knows, because, Kyle got this figured out.
Yeah.
So I'm gladly exchanging. Oh, and the fact that he paid the $50, $50, I'm gonna come every week now.
Crazy that I have never thought about it like that. In some ways, I'm still that unlicensed barber mentally. In some ways, right?
Yeah.
A part of that is that. A part of it is, man, I would never spend that much money on haircut.
And my goal would be give you an idea of where you should be at. Submit that to you, and you submit that to God. What do I need to be according to you and your word?
Yeah.
So that people value this. Not just, you can't, I'm telling you now, if you try to jump up to $65, you're going to lose. Don't do it that way.
I'm being here sweeping hair.
Don't do it that way. Your wife is going to be pissed at me. Your wife is gonna be pissed at
New
me.
baby on the way too. Like, nigga, what are you at?
But because of what I believe about service and helping people, what you've already started with your product line, you've already started going deeper with your client.
Yeah.
There's a value to that. The value that you're giving them is already at a $200 value that they only have to give $65 for. Think about how much money people are paying to put hair back on their head. You're doing it naturally.
This is a very humbling conversation. It is. And I say that because sometimes I think I have it all figured out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then someone like you comes along and just gently like a lamb says, no, there's more to it.
Yeah.
And so it's humbling, and not in a like, nah, but it's just like, no, there's more to it, bro. And you're worth it.
Yeah. I mean, I see it.
Yeah.
And then to hear you talk about it, especially from the backstory of like how you came into this, and basically all you said is that if I'm not gonna waste my time doing anything.
Yeah.
So if you're doing this product line, if you got into products, you didn't. I don't think that you waste your time. Let me just find out how I can make a quick buck. Like, you take pride in what you do.
Absolutely.
You took pride in putting together, and it's probably not the beginning formula. You're probably gonna have a new improved formula
Yeah.
at some point in time, because you're gonna learn something else because you're on your journey as an educator. You're showing in your conversation that I'm willing to invest in my mind that's going to benefit the people that I serve. You're not stagnated. Why does your income have to be stagnant? Because you're not going to be able to do this forever.
Yeah.
Then you have little children, and you got the little one on the way.
Yeah.
And they coming up in a brand new world.
Whew.
For me, when I knew we was gonna hook up today, and the way I do this, like, I don't have a time schedule. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I got time schedule. I do got to pick up kids, but it's not like, come on, let's rush through this. I'm just kind of letting this happen as it is, and I'm giving you back what I see and what I hear, and I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I love what you're doing. I'm pretty sure, because of we come up in Chicagoland or whatever, we barbers have this attitude like, I'm the best,
Yes.
I'm cool. Man, dude can't touch me or whatever. And I got some cockiness or whatever. Like, yeah, there's guys that can cut well,
Yeah.
that try to take great pictures of me. I dare you to come cut next to me for a whole day. I want you to try it. I can talk trash too. And I come up in the era where it's like about the I love friendly competition.
Yeah.
But the key for me is friendly competition, because I'm only going to go hard to push you harder.
Yeah.
So I went to $65 so I can tell you, hey, there's room up here. There's room up here. Yeah, you can come up here. There's a client for this. I have $100 service. I can tell you, hey, there's room up here. Not only is there room up here for what you're doing for 80 to go to 100, go to 100 for 75 minutes, not 2 hours. There's room up here. There's plenty of people that's waiting for you to get here.
Mm.
They've been waiting for you. Because as soon as you get here, they're going to be like, man, I'm glad you got here. Because Mike, man, he was slacking a little bit. Because you offer something that you've been gifted with, something that I haven't been gifted with. The world needs that. They need the Stay Fresh brand.
Yeah.
Not another art gallery image studio. not another, whoever is popular. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They didn't need that. They need you. And they've been waiting on it. And, you know, my job and what I want to do, because my time is going to expire. My body is telling me.
He don't mean die. I just thought about that.
Right.
They're like, oh Lord.
So, it's going to come a time where I'm going to have to transition from behind the chair.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is that I have more that I want to do. I love turning the camera on just to document certain things. I love it because it's like, I feel like if nothing else, your children are going to need to hear you speak about this journey. Because your children are going to be, at some point in time, faced with a decision of, what am I supposed to do? And we don't know if the Lord will have you still here at this time. It might not be. It may be a great grandson.
Yeah.
And they want to know, like, I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do. I don't want to be in this situation. And then they come across a video that was documented. That, man, my great granddad was talking. Yeah, that's what he did. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Thank you, Papa. I appreciate that. You've left wisdom for them. Just hearing your story, that was comforting.
Great imagery, by the way, because I believe that when the Bible talks about leaving an inheritance for your children, I don't believe God was talking about money.
Mm-hmm.
Can you leave a monetary inheritance? Yeah, great, but wisdom without no wisdom with a monetary inheritance, it'll burn up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always thought that, one, the inheritance would be my faith. Leave my inheritance of faith for my children.
Yep.
But man, you just said leaving the documentation of why I did what I did, who I was. Not only gonna be great for me, because I'm gonna definitely look back and be like, oh man, but that's an inheritance for them.
Yeah. Especially because now you've made faith more practical. Now that faith is in everyday life. It's in how we work. It's in how we talk to people. It's in how we serve our wives.
Yeah.
How we even take care of our bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, for me, in turning this camera on, like, I hate being in front of the camera. I do not like it. I'm like, I really, really want to run away.
Wow.
I think about other people. My mission is to take everything that God has put in me to serve people in ways that they need. Whatever that may be. I'm not deciding to cut hair. For many years, it's been to cut hair, but right now it's, dang, Cal's grandson needs to hear this. Let me make sure this camera didn't go out, make sure there's enough memory on here or whatever, and we need to put it in a place where it's secure. That has nothing to do with me. And it's like, if I see the vision a little bit more, let me help push you, because, if you're anything like me, it's like we're trying to figure out how to make it stable, right?
Yeah.
How to like, and it's like, what if your need to make things stable, need to make things where you can maintain it,
Mm-hmm.
those are all great qualities. But maybe what needs to also happen is you secure the things that you can maintain, but you begin to pray and walk out a vision that only He can sustain.
That's the scary part. and I'm kind of in another vein in my life. So it would only make sense that in something that I can control, I'm controlling it. because the student ministry thing that I'm in, did not ask for it, was not even looking for it, but that is literally one thing that I have to trust God to maintain.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I've never done it before,
Yeah.
you know? So over here, product line, cutting hair, I got that. Dang. Lord, I trust you right over here, but it'll be more of a partnership. It'll be more of a partnership. And to your point, you said something great about, you know, you doing this for someone else and your servitude. Immediately, I thought that's what God put us here for,
Yes.
to serve. Like, it is a simple but complex thing to grasp, because we're human, because we live in a world that says it's about me, what I want, right? But in actuality, our lives are supposed to be used to serve other people. So
Yeah. We don't bear fruit to eat ourselves. So.
yeah, yeah. So thank you for your obedience in doing what makes you uncomfortable, but is also serving other people in a way that we may never even get to experience.
Yeah.
This may be an Abraham moment where God is promising you something, right? Or I'm not even going to say God is promising you something, but he's called you to something that, you know, like he told Abraham, he's like, man, I'm going to make you father of many nations. But Abraham never lived to see the many nations. But God didn't go back on his promise.
Yeah.
And Abraham didn't fall back on what God called him to do. Both things were fulfilled.
Yeah. And then the great part about that is that Abraham didn't do it perfectly. He had his flaws.
No, not at all.
He screwed up. He blew it big time.
God
Many
only chooses
times.
people that are gonna screw up. I feel like I promise every person he chose was just.
So why do we keep deleting
up.
videos when they don't come out perfect? Why do we take a picture and be like, no, I can't post it because it's not perfect?
Because we're posting for likes
Posting for likes.
and not for exposure.
Good segue. I love it.
I tried to do a podcast where it was literally me documenting what it is to be an entrepreneur and everything that it encapsulated. Good days, bad days, days I wanted to quit, days I was doing great. I couldn't keep up with it, but
Is it still available for people to tune into?
man, what is it called? That's the question. I mean, you can find these archived podcasts on like Spotify or whatever. I don't even know what they're called. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I did this, and now I can't even remember what they were called.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's a need for a website to just have people just go to and just check things out.
In the works.
Yeah.
So again, I'm doing these small steps, right? I just had pictures taken of my shop, so I can have images for my website.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wasn't supposed to be back on Instagram until I had a website. That was something that I promised myself, but I couldn't wait.
Somebody building your website, you doing it yourself?
Someone's building it for me. One of my clients.
One of your clients building it. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a web developer.
That's dope.
So, you know, his first thing was like, you need to get images of your shop,
Yeah,
right?
You gotta get the content.
Then we'll have a discussion of how you want your. So it is crazy that I'm being so impatient. I'm like itching, like, bro, just do it. And he's like, no,
You're not ready.
no, you have to follow these steps.
That's good. Have you defined who the Stay Fresh guy is? You have a client avatar.
Oh, these questions always make me itch. You sound like my brother. Because these are the things that you have to think about for real. And actually, I do. My target demographic of a client, right, is Male, late 30s to early 50s, corporate, family guy,
How much they make a year?
like 75,
75.
75 plus,
Okay.
you
What's
know.
their name? Just put a name on the
I
outline.
almost said my client's name.
So the name would make up the people that's like that. So you
Yeah,
don't it
yeah,
don't, it don't even
yeah.
have
I
to
know.
be.
But when I thought about this person, he came to mind.
Yeah.
And
I say the name. I say it.
it's Antoine.
Nice man, nice
And
building.
because Antoine is my client. Antoine is a corporate guy. He's got a family. And none of these things are like necessary, but he's got investment property. He's athletic, plays basketball. He drives a Range Rover. Again, none of this stuff really matters. I'm just explaining. I'm defining.
I'm gonna tell you, it does matter.
Okay.
Why it does matter? Like he drives a Range Rover. What family vacation? Like what type of stuff is? You know the type of stuff that he's into.
Yeah.
So when you're posting online, you post like you're sending a message to Antoine.
And how do you do that
You're talking to Antoine.
without becoming wow, man. How do you do that without becoming facetious or annoying? Because I've seen barbers and they may be doing it to attract their clientele.
How would you normally?
Right.
How would you normally talk to him? Don't try to sell him anything.
Yeah. And I think that's what I've seen other barbers, and I'm just like, dude, cut it out. Like that's way over the top. We know that this is not really your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so it turns me off.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. So if I was talking to you online and I came across an article on why charcoal is bad for your hair, I was like, hey, what do you think about this? Like you would respond a certain way.
Yeah.
So what type of stuff would Antoine be into that you would post and say, hey, I found this interesting, yada yada yada. What do you think about this?
Yeah.
Or I found this interesting because of X, Y, and Z. Or you got a post where it's like, okay, Antoine got a family, corporate guy, so he has to decompress, take a week vacation, 2-week vacation, whatever it may be, and be like, hey, I'm interested in going in this place and showing all type of videos of like has nothing to do with cutting hair.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with shampoo. It's just like all these different things that Kyle is interested into that is mutual between you and Antoine. Has nothing to do with cutting hair. Antoine says, man, that's a dope spot, man. I really want to go there. You know what? I got vacation time coming up in 2 weeks. I'm going to need a haircut because he got the information right from Kyle.
So content, this is a great conversation. Content doesn't always have to be about what I'm doing.
Absolutely not.
I've been burnt out on content because I'm like, literally, I said, I'm not posting another haircut, even though I just recently did.
Your haircuts, put all that on your website. Like the intentional stuff, put that all on your website.
Yeah.
Just be a real person online.
Because I'm like, how many more haircuts do people need to see?
Right. Antoine definitely ain't looking at another haircut. He could care less about another haircut. But what you could do is pull your camera out, take a dope picture of Antoine, cut him, get him laced. Make sure you put $150 service on them. That you only charge them right now,
Yeah.
$45, whatever. But you give them the service. Put all the lacing on, take a dope picture of them. You don't post it. Send it to him. He looks good. He's going to post it. His family and friends go like, oh, you look great, this, that, and another. Jump in his comments. Like, man, it was great seeing you that day. Remember something about the conversation. Hey, have a good time when you go on that vacation.
Yeah.
Have a good time when you go on that vacation because your social media stuff is going to be set up where they see a great picture of you. They see this name to stay fresh and like, who's this people are nosy. They're going to click on you. And because you're going to have your social media already set up, ready to go, call to action, everything ready to go, they know exactly who you are. And within 30 seconds, they know that I like Antoine. His hair looks good. I want to look good. That's the person that did it. That's it.
I've been going about this all wrong. And not totally wrong, right? But
Yeah, you've been doing great. You've been doing great.
It-
Like you have. Like I see you've established your brand.
yeah.
That you take pride in what you do and you're gonna take your time. That's what I see on your work.
And that's how I feel. That's how I operate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's visible. So you've done a great job at taking what you do and communicating it. Now you just need to document who you are. Why should people care? Because there's a lot of people taking time cutting hair.
Yeah.
So what makes you the person that they need to be connected with? And the only way they're gonna get to do that is that only way they're gonna be able to make that decision on why they need to come to you is that they need to know the difference between us.
So what I've done is I have my barber Instagram, and I have my personal
Oh,
Instagram.
you burning yourself out. That's a lot of work.
Dang.
Why?
Dang.
Why?
Because someone told me 2, 3, 4 years ago, if I come on your page, if somebody go on your page, they want to see work. They don't want to see you. They don't want to see what you're doing.
That's what your website is for. I would say take those pictures of your work, have that stuff in there sprinkled.
Yeah.
But you've been doing this long enough to know that there are certain clients that I cut right now that after hearing this, they're more connected to you because your personalities are different.
Yeah.
They are a better fit for you. I have clients. Are you still located in the Naperville area?
I'm in downtown Oswego now.
I know people in Oswego that come from out there. You might be a better fit for them. The great part about it is I've already raised the price, so you can easily do the 75. Like I've already I stretched it already.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there's room up here.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Where's my ladder?
and I'm not even saying that as like a boastful, like look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's more so like that price keeps certain other people away.
And I thought I was already at the price of keeping people away, because definitely at some level I am keeping some people away for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But is it time to evaluate again?
Well, that's why I say let's submit
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
And you
yes.
submit it to the Lord.
Yes.
And let him move you at your time.
Yeah.
Because it took me a long time.
I'm glad you said that.
It took me, when I got here, I went up. Ivan Zoot is one of my mentors.
No way.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's, taking one of his class. So he started off as a virtual mentor, and then I signed up for something he was doing back in like 2018, 2019. He came out and showed me everything I was doing wrong for like a day or whatever, and so he's not the one that I haven't talked to Ivan in a while, but it's like I pick up mentors everywhere. Like whether I know them in person or I buy their books, I buy their material, I study. Like those are all mentors too. If you study somebody, they're mentoring you, right?
Yeah.
So, but Ivan Zoot, from one of his classes that I was in, he gave the formula of what to do. He was like, if you maintain your books, if you're 80% book for 6 weeks straight, it's time for you to go up on your price. He said the best time to do it was July 1st. They coined that National Go Up on Your Haircut Price Day.
Did not know that. Boy, I'm around here changing prices.
So that was the first thing, and the first time I went up on my prices, I went to it was, because I did 10%, it was like $28.50.
Yeah.
People was like, "What's this 50 cents? What is this?" But I was just being obedient, following instructions. But I had one client that came nearly every week. He was already booked out. I went up on the 2850. I started getting these dings. Ding, 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 ding. He's canceling all of his appointments. I said, man, I can't pay no near $30 for a haircut, man. This is crazy. I freaked out and I said, no, that's for new people. That was the first mistake. Because then I created a split in the clientele.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I got this people over here paying this price. I created more work for myself. I'm stressed out trying to remember everything.
Yes.
And I started going up on my prices out of frustration at that point.
I've been there.
So I
Been
went
there.
up to 30, solid 30, then 35. And then it was when I started investing just more in my mind and understanding business that it was like, then I went to 40. Then I went to 45. And at this point, I'm not doing it at July 1st. Remember, I've only been here since 2016. So to put things in perspective, January 2016, it was $25. February, it was $28.50.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of like base price for like starting for a haircut. Now we're talking about base price $65. But because I still have that split, because I'm flawed too. I still got that split in the clientele. It's still some people paying $55.
Yeah.
Dumb on my part, but please learn from my mistakes. The easiest way for you to do it is create a new service. Create a new service that's $60.
So you have some tools in here that I'm looking at. I'm like, I've been trying to figure out where to get that. And I think
I'm an open book.
you think I think you have you ever taken any of Morano's classes?
Yeah, the one of my mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
him, Todd. I've invested tens of thousands of dollars in my mind. My income grew the first time I spent $1,000 on my brain.
And maybe I shell shocked myself when I spent the 6, and I was like, I don't want to do this.
That changed everything. Now, so when I went to the first person, you said Morano.
Mm-hmm.
90% of what he was teaching, I already knew it. 5% I didn't know,
Yeah.
and the other 5% was this is the order that you put everything in. I had things like all these puzzle pieces, but I didn't know how they fit together. Todd taught nearly the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Todd gave me the language. Other mentor in Columbus, Georgia, gave me the vision for it. Small little courses that I paid here and there, $50 there, $75 there, $150 there, gave me like little tweaks that I can do.
And I know that to be true because I bought Morano's book, the language book.
Mm-hmm.
It's helped me several times already.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a pretty good communicator. But in those times where my emotion was gonna get the best of me,
Yeah.
I had something to just type that.
Yeah. Yeah. And now that I'm a couple of years removed from doing advanced barber training, I have my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's the fluff.
Yeah.
I know what's solid. And I'm making a decision. Like, I no longer want to be a copycat.
Mm-hmm.
So how I got better, and what I do periodically is, if I see somebody that's doing something interesting, I stop doing my normal routine and I copy everything that they do. So if they cut hair a certain kind of way, I'm going to follow their steps exactly as they said it, because I am learning something.
Okay.
I want to see what I discover. So when I saw I cut Pro Tide, they was using guards. I haven't used guards in forever. I'm more like clipper over comb.
Mm-hmm.
I committed myself 60 days. I'm doing guards. I'm cut exactly how Todd cuts. I know exactly how Todd cuts. Cut exactly what, and I learned a lot.
Wow.
I learned a lot. I learned me doing clipper over comb was me trying to show how better I am. Then y'all need those guards. I don't need those guards. You give me a trimmer and the comb and I'm gone. But how does that serve the client? It doesn't. Todd's method we're using guards showed me how to be more consistent even in tires. So it took I don't have to be creative now.
Mm.
All I had to do was follow my steps. So now I've gone through the hardest part of the haircut faster.
Yeah.
That created more room on the back end for upsells. Holy smokes. I was on to something. Dang.
Yeah. I would say, for people listening, that's a humbling moment because you had to let go of what you thought was best
Mm-hmm.
and try somebody else's method,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even if their method didn't work
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't like it, you at least let go of what you knew was for sure working for you and try something else.
I won awards on it. I won awards on my methods. But I was broke. Like, the main reason why I bring up money and finances a lot is because we forget at the end of the day we're running a business. When you go get funding to scale your product line, if your product line isn't under another LLC and it's under your Stay Fresh brand, then which is going to be great for you, like to begin with. Like, I know already, especially from 2020 and everything that happened with the pandemic, going through all that paperwork, that for you to get more yeses and funding, and is that you have to show a certain amount of sales, and you have to show a certain amount of cash flow. I know that sweet spot is probably going to be around 20%. So in your pricing, have you buffered in profit? Or does your pricing only cover expenses? If it covers expenses and you're able to pay everything cool, great. You only broke even.
Yeah.
People only want to invest in profitable businesses. We have to create our own profit. So whatever your business expenses is, for you to run the business not as is, the business that you desire to run.
That's key.
Your personal expenses. Not where you're at right now, but where you want to be. Divided by the amount of weeks that you want to work for the year, because you need rest time. Divided by the amount of days that you desire to work. Divided by the amount of people that you can do until your eyes go out. That's going to give you how you structure your prices. It's that formula that I know you're not at the right prices. You're maintaining.
Yeah.
You got a soar now. But you submit all that to the Lord.
Yeah.
Don't go, because He has to show you how to do that. Right? Because I'm telling you, if you try to jump off that mountain with the wings, it's not gonna work.
TD Jake said, just it's gonna open up.
Yeah, he does a good
Steve
job of
Harvey said
selling
it's
dreams.
gonna open up. Steve Harvey is also a multi-millionaire.
And the only
His
way,
jump is a lot different than my jump.
yeah. But that's going to be the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
Like, I believe wholeheartedly that the way you need to serve people, you don't ever want it to be that you can't make it to an event because you got work to do. Because I mean, if you like me, it's just kind of like, you know what your break even, you know what number you have to hit to just pay expenses.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine a life. Can I get to the point where I've created a business that is not built around hourly price structure? I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to the point. But to give you a little insight of what I am trying to do, I'm trying to get people away from a $50, $60 haircut and getting them into a $5,000 package.
Yearly?
Yearly? Twice a year? So what that would look like is you're trying to invest in your brand.
Mm-hmm.
You need images. So, of course, the foundation of what I do starts with hair. But you also need photography. You're going to need to know what's the look.
Yeah.
Interviews and stuff like this or whatever. You need all this for the website.
So let me tell you what I hear, and you tell me if I'm understanding what you're saying. In this ideal package, you would not only focus on hair, you would do image consulting, you would do content creation, and photography.
Video, yeah. Strategy.
And if I am someone who is, forget if I'm even on the internet, but if I am just someone who is a corporate person.
LinkedIn has adopted video and they're incorporating all this lives and all this stuff. It's like, and everything is so quick. We've been doing paper resumes for a long time. I see, is it possible to do video resume of why, like when people are looking for prospects, you've already created a video of why, hey, you should come holler at your boy.
That's amazing.
But I would love to be able to hire someone who's great at sales coaching,
Yeah.
so that you're on your website and you're trying to sell the product but not be salesy.
Yeah.
They help you write out the script. So I have the vision for this. Is just writing it down. And where I struggle at is that I do everything myself. I need a team. There's no way I can do that by myself. There's no way I could, there's no way I can do that by myself.
Yeah.
This is just, I'm gonna make mistakes. You see how many times I have to get up and turn the camera? Like I
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
somebody to do that.
You need a production team.
Right. I need the production team. I need makeup artists. I need a stylist because it would be male and female. I need somebody might be a better barber for this service
Yeah.
than me. Like I'm good at what I do, but it's at what I do. What if you need something that's outside of what I do? I need to be able to.
That is a phenomenal business model.
That's what I would like to do.
Phenomenal.
And so what I'm doing, and the even reason why I even said that, somebody would be like, why would you say that out loud? Somebody can steal it.
Yeah,
Like, why would you do that? And it's kind of like, I need help.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
help in what I'm trying to do. So I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. And let me tell you what my web developer told me. He said a lot of people, they want to be first.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it doesn't matter if you're first. It doesn't matter. Just do what you do and do it well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And so when he said that, because a lot of people say, oh, I have this idea. And the first thing is, I don't want nobody to steal it from me. Well, the way God works is he doesn't just put the idea in you only. So
Yeah. Yeah, somebody else.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You were the one of the few that, got the idea. Now, do you execute on it? That's up to you. But the idea is going to happen somewhere and sometime. So you can get rid of, not you, but people can get rid of thinking, somebody will steal my idea. But secondly, I forgot my second link. It doesn't matter because I think that was probably the most important thing, is that just because you have an idea, and there you go. If you have an idea and it doesn't happen right away, we rush to do an idea, and then we do it halfway, right, and then it's not well, so that when someone else comes along and they do it better than you, because they took their time, not because they saw your idea and stole it, but they just took their time. Now it's like, they're choosing them over me.
Yeah.
And if you had just taken your time, products, process.
Yeah.
I rushed, and then I found out I gotta slow down.
Yeah.
I gotta slow down.
Yeah.
Because rushing, I wasn't speaking the language. I wasn't explaining. I was just trying to sell the product because, I want to have a product out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I already know. I feel like depending on the size of your products and all that stuff, and you kind of like get an idea of the frequency in which men are shampooing your hair, I probably would have a recommended shampoo your hair these many times. Tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe the products are included in the price, where instead of you paying $60 for a haircut, you pay $150 a month. This comes with 2 haircuts and the products that you need for that month. Pay that on the first.
And I've been toying with that idea.
Yeah.
I've been toying with that.
Just put it out there, see if somebody grab it.
Yeah.
If they don't grab it, then you know.
And that's the thing too, right? Why not just ask? Why not just say, hey, I'm going to offer this?
And the great part about your story is that you already have an example in the story that you told earlier with the other client that could have been a loss of a client just not communicating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just communicate. Hey, this is what I have. Boom. This is right here. If you want it, cool. If you don't, I learned something.
Yeah. Oh man, that idea was just sitting up in my head like, you should do this. Yeah, well, I don't know. But do I offer it to everybody? A lot of self-talk. A lot of self-talk. This was because I do a lot of self-talk, and I do bounce ideas and stuff off of people, my brother and my wife, but I haven't sat down with another barber. One, I'm not friends with a lot of barbers, just the arrogance thing is
the
just
arrogance
crazy.
Which
man.
clipper is the best?
Oh my gosh. Let's just be. Now it's a competition. Like, okay. So I kind of removed myself from that group, and I've just been doing my own thing privately. But today, I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad that when I asked, you said yes. I was like, yeah.
And it's just it was just like a random thing.
Yeah, and then class got canceled today. I was like, all right, I'm gonna make that. I'm going today.
Yeah. My wife, she picking up the boys, so I didn't have to say, okay, we only got 60 minutes.
Jeez, it all worked out.
It's just, it's and it's just kind of where I'm at is I've missed out on so many things because I've just overthought it. I've messed up so many things because I've overthought it. And what my goal was today was, let me set these cameras up to just be present and see what happens.
Yeah.
I want to be present.
You didn't have any agenda?
No. I have no idea what we were going to talk about. I was just I thought maybe you reached out to me because you saw the post about me talking about the white pencil.
I did. Well, and that's what I was like, I really don't want to, how long can we talk about that? This is going to be a very short episode or a clip.
So to come out for what we're supposed to do you think people should use the white pencil?
So there's this girl I follow on TikTok. Her name is, I think, Nicole Ray or Nicole something, right? And she uses it.
And she's from where?
I think she's in Phoenix,
Okay.
I believe. I mean, amazing barber, amazing, and she's like on the Babyliss team and all of that, right?
Yeah.
She uses it.
I believe I know exactly what you're talking about. I met her in person.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, the Babyliss. She's. Is she African American?
She's Hispanic.
Yep, we're talking about the same person.
Yeah,
I just
wear
I met her
glasses.
this year. Yes.
Yes,
Like,
I love her.
She's very dope.
She, what I noticed is that she uses it on a specific clientele. Usually it's Hispanic or Caucasian people. And 90% of the time she's using enhancement. So the contrast of the white against the black enhancement on a lighter toned skin is perfect. Where we mess up is that we are already dark.
Yeah.
We don't, the contrast of the pencil, the white, stark white pencil at that, against our tone of skin is not a good look.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it became popular to like leave the pencil on our skin, you know? Like what I believe is that the pencil was created out of the idea of the ash mark that, you know,
That's true.
clean skin and clean scalp will leave on a client with, you know, the right tools. So now we're substituting clean skin and clean scalp for makeup. And I'm not, I mean, I use one. I have a brown one. I have a white one, but to be honest with you, I think I used it maybe once. I don't like it. The brown works well, but then I don't like the pencil, to be honest with you. It clogs your clippers. You know, just wash your face and wash your hair. You'll be okay. You know, every lining is not gonna be super sharp because of the way the hair lays, and maybe it's your tool. Maybe you're not cutting against the grain because the hair is laying one way and you're cutting with the grain, so it's not going to come out as sharp. So there's a lot of things that you can do that are quote unquote natural to get the same achievement, and there's a lot of things that you can do to enhance it. I have really been kind of pulling back on my enhancements a lot.
That's good. So imagine pulling back on your enhancements, and you're at 60.
That's a lot more money in my pocket.
Yeah. Or a lot more money and being able to
Yeah.
invest into
Yeah.
your body, your
Yeah.
fitness journey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot more money in your pocket to invest in the person that's going to record the content and document you. More money in your pocket to make sure that there's 20% left in the business account so that when you go for funding, because you have to fulfill order because your products are now in Walmart and Target or wherever you want to place it. You need to fulfill orders. Then they can see, oh wait, this is a profitable business.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's just give it to him because his track record is showing like, oh, he has a consistent growth in income. He's consistent. And you did everything right in your suite before you brought the barbershop. So you've proven everything that you as an individual have a consistent, stable business that's steadily growing, that's profitable, that has created multiple streams of income with service behind the chair, the product lines, subscription services, maybe education, maybe you have real estate. Whatever it is that you have going on, you've created multiple streams, and it's like on paper, it's like, oh, snap. You need to connect with Stay Fresh.
And when I was kind of, I don't know about the products. I was like, man, I'm gonna start teaching. I'm gonna start teaching one-on-ones. Cause I'm in class to get my instructor's license. Ask me what I'm gonna do with it. I don't know. I have no idea. It served me well. I, I I was led there for sure. I was led to go back because it has served me well in my church. The things that I learned there, I can apply to teaching middle school and high school kids.
Nice.
Even though I haven't been, I just started. But having the knowledge, right? Nobody can take that away from me. So even if I wasn't using it to its full advantage, now I should go back to my book and find out what is the best seating arrangement for conducive for learning. I got that knowledge. So am I gonna do something with it in its field? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just thought that um, it would increase my price on one-on-ones because I would be a licensed instructor.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't give you a license, but having that licensed instructor behind a teaching session would be able to allow me to increase my price from just oh yeah, this dude cut hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For your teaching sessions, how much would that be?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because I feel like there's 1,000 ways you can do it, right? Excuse me. You can do, and I'm looking at other barbers who are doing it. So they got the look and learn, then they got the one-on-one, then they got the one-on-one with a model, then they got the look and learn one-on-one with the model. So it's like, okay, how many ways are y'all slicing up this piece of a pie? And I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's just like, how do you simplify all of that? How do you simplify it and just say, hey, here's what I'm offering? Is it a one-on-one with a client? I mean, with a model? Is it a one-on-one with the mannequin? Because then I thought about, well, I'll do one-on-one with mannequin, and I'll include the mannequin and the stand in their price. They can take it home. We'll cut one half together, and then they can have the other half to cut.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's
Yeah.
probably why I haven't started doing it, because I haven't really landed on anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it like because you're getting into the area of trichology and you're doing education and like it don't sound like you're trying to slap somebody upside the head with just a price just because of it. Like
Yeah, no.
that you really want people to learn.
Yeah.
You really want people to grow. What if you at the shop with the client, with the camera, explaining everything that you need to know and why we did it this way? That's put on your website that you have building.
Yeah.
The only way they have access to it is with $49.99 PayPal payment, lifetime, with life.
You were making this so easy. My gosh. I was trying to come to the shop, get a model.
And then if they want to see you in person, that's $5.99.
Jesus.
The $600 that you spent.
And I didn't even touch a head.
That's
That was a $600 look and learn.
There you go.
And I'm not even mad at him.
And because you're not doing one-on-one, you're doing it in groups. So if you want to do
It was a group thing too. 6 times. Oh shoot! It had to be about 8 of us, 9 of us there, man. Golly.
But if they need direct access, they got to talk to you. It's $1,000. The higher the price, the closer they want to get from you because your family needs you.
Yeah. And when you said that,
Yeah.
the
Your
first
family
word that
needs
came
you,
to
yeah.
mind was time.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
you're taking me away from my family. Oh, I'm not charging you $1,000. I give it to you for free. It's my kids and my wife that need that. They need that price. definitely need that. Yeah.
The steps. Those are perfect stepping stones.
I really hope I was able to, like, just as much as you gave to us watching, I hope I was able to give back to you.
Absolutely. I I I almost hate having conversations like this because then I'm too full. I don't. It's like I don't know what to do now. I want to eat something. It's like now it's time to go eat something.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can recall some of whatever we talked about because in the moment it's just it's a lot. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. This conversation was good to have because it humbled me again. I'm in this humbling season, man. You have no idea. So this was a good humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how can people stay in touch with you on your journey?
Yeah. Because I have 2 social media pages. I'm doing double the work. If you want to see my real life, no, you can follow me at _ Stay Fresh Cuts with a K on Instagram. _ KB Stay Fresh is my personal page, but yeah, that's and then from there you can find all the other stuff that I have because I have like some other things that I was trying to do, but mainly definitely for product knowledge, maybe some educational coming. _ Stay Fresh Cuts with a K.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
I appreciate you, man. It was a little bit of a maze to get in here, but I had to ask the pizza guy, like, "Hey,"
That's funny.
he was like, he tried to act like he didn't know no English. Like, no, you gonna help me, bro. But I thank you for allowing me to come in your space, and then thank you for also pouring into me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming by, man. Welcome to the shed.
Love.